Hello everybody, this is John from Doing Network. Today I'll be doing a deck profile. So as you can see from the post from the beginning, I will be showing you guys my instant water rabbits. So in the past deck profiles, I have been showing you guys just regular popular deck profiles that are usually, the ones I show you, in my opinion, are at least good, but that, of course that's everyone. So I decided to change it up a bit, and I may actually keep doing this for a little while to show you guys decks that I have created. So let's get right to it, I guess. We have 21 monsters, 13 spells, and 7 traps. Unfortunately, there's just so many things I could have put in this deck, and I just really there's just too much. So I don't like going past the 40 card limit in my my limit, my 40 card. So it kind of hurts me to put in 41, but the deck actually is good. So let's get right to it. We have one Moblin, Elemental Lord, which is actually one of the strongest water monsters ever created. It's my favorite water monster now, and I'll tell you what's its effect. If you have exactly 5 water monsters in the graveyard, you can special summon in this card, and once this card was special summoned this way, when this card is special summoned, so when this card is special summoned, it doesn't matter how it's special summoned, your opponent discards 2 cards in their hand, only I get to choose, because it's at random, and in Dueling Network you can't actually do it by random, unfortunately. So with this kind of card, there has to be some kind of drawback. So unfortunately, if this card ever leaves the field, so for instance, my opponent uses Compulsory Evacuation Device or uses Bottomless Trap Hole, I have to skip my next battle phase. Not this turn's battle phase, because it says next turns. So that really does suck, but it's just really amazing though. Unfortunately, you can only use it once, but once per turn. But at least, that kind of does stop, like, basically a hand loop, like with, what was it, Swap Frog, or with, Birdman. So, the next card we have Aqua Spirit, which is my tech for the deck. This card, with this card effect, you can banish a water monster graveyard, special summon this card, so it's basically it's just an easy level 4 monster I can get on the field for Exceed summoning. And its second effect, during each of your opponent's standby phases, I can choose one face-up monster and put it in a defense position. For the rest of the turn, that monster cannot change the battle position. So I can basically give myself an entire turn just because of one card, this Aqua Spirit. I just think this card is really good. So next card we have 300 Geddon. Yes, it's a dinosaur, it's a water, so I decided it's a really good card. Since it's water and dinosaur, it gives me variety. I can either go for Bahamut Shark, or I can go for Lagia. So that's why I decided to keep in Hydreigon. I was skeptical at first to put it in because it's a dinosaur and it's supposed to be a water deck. I just decided it's a good card, might as well, and it works really well with the Forbidden Lances. So we have obviously the star of the deck, 3 Rescue Rabbits, a Sangan, 3 Tour Guides, Maxi, and 2 Effect Failure because we need those hand traps, and these cards really did help out. For the normal monsters, we have 3 Gaga Gigos, we have 3 Sea Serpent, Warrior of Darknesses. So for the spells, we have Dark Hole, Forbidden Lances, 3 Forbidden Lances. I decided to put this in because usually this is a good card for rabbit decks. First of all, it protects your rabbits and your Lagias, and it also helps out getting over stronger monsters with Hydreigon, Gagagigo, and Sea Serpent, Warrior of Darkness. So it's actually a really good card for the deck. I was kind of skeptical also to put this card in. I decided if I put in Hydreigon, then I might as well put in Forbidden Lance. We have a Heavy Storm, and we have 3 Instant Fusion. It's part of the deck's name. So with this card, I can pay 1,000 life points, and then I can special summon a level 5 or lower fusion monster from my deck. It cannot attack, and it is stored during the end phase, and I can only activate 1 of these per turn. So it actually has a lot of drawbacks, but it's an easy XYZ summon. I use it to get either rare fish to the field, or I get Dragoness, the Wicked Knight, if I need an extra level 3 later on. And it's just an overall really good card. Mind Control works the same way. You just take one of your opponent's monsters, and since level 3s and level 4s are the biggest levels for, right now, it's just a really good card. We have Monster Reborn, 2 Mystical Space Life Moons. I wanted to put in 3, it's just that there wasn't enough room to put in 3. And we have 1 Pot of Avarice to put back your Gagagigos, your Sea Serpents, your Rescue Rabbits in case they actually go to the graveyard, basically just everything. So for traps, we have three. Good Goblin Housekeeping. I decided to put this card in the deck because with regular, Dino Rabbits, you don't have to worry about having not bad hands, but things like you don't want in your hand, like the normal monsters. You don't have to worry about it too often because usually they're better. But in this deck, it's just I want to keep it. I wanted to have some kind of drawing power in the deck, and I also wanted to just counteract the bad hands and everything like that. So this card really does help. So with this card, you can draw one card, and then you can draw an extra card for each Good Goblin Housekeeping in your graveyard, and you have to put after you're doing that, you have to put another card in your hand to the bottom of the deck. So that puts Gagagigo, Sea Serpent, another Tour Guide, or even a Hydreigeddon to the bottom of the deck. All these cards, there's so many monsters in the deck that you just don't want in your hand anymore. So that's why I put in the Good Goblin Housekeeping. It's a really good tech for Rescue Rabbits overall. We have Solemn Warning, 1 Judgment, 2 Warning, and Torrential Tribute. For the extra deck, we have number C32 Shark Drake Wise. We have number 32 Shark Drake. We have 1 Shark, 1 Utopia, 1 Logia, 1 Delka, 1 Dijin, 1 Acid Golem, 1 Leviathan, 1 Submersible Carrier Arrow Shark. I never actually go for this card if I have like a tour guide or whatever. I usually only use it to go with the Bahamut Shark because I'd rather go tour guide into Leviathan than tour guide into Arrow Shark. So it just works well with the Shark. And we have 1 Leviator to reuse your any monster that's really banished, basically, and usually it's the one you want to. It's a risk you want to bring back and reuse its effect. And we have a Zenmates, and then finally we have 2 rare fish for the instant fusions and 1 Dragonis the Wicked Knight. So the side deck, these are the cards that I show you that are good for the deck. There's Tragodia that helps out. A lot of the times, hand traps are just really good in what we have now, since there's just so many OTKs and it's just everything's fast. So that's why having Tragodia is really good because you can either choose to be a level 3 or level 4. So it's basically an extra XYZ monster right there, and you can also discard a card. A monster with and then take one of your opponent's monster with the same level as a monster you discarded. So it's really, really good. We have Gores to protect yourself, of course. It's also just a relatively good card overall. Dirac Waiba if you just don't want the Hydreigeddon. Dirac Waiba with this card effect, if it destroys a monster that is 1700 and they both go to graveyard, Waiba, you can still use this effect. But I'm not completely sure if Hydreigeddon is in the same situation. They look actually relatively similar in card text, so I don't know. We have Template Goldfish, which is useful to if you just can't use those Gagagios or those Sea Serpents in your hand, and you need to go for an XYZ summon right there. So that's why Template is good for there, and it's also water. So that's why Template could be a good tech for the deck. We have Spirit Reaper to work with the Tour Guide, and it's also a good card because it can stall, and it can also make your opponent discard a card if it attacks your opponent directly, or if it does battle damage. Yeah, it just does battle damage, it doesn't matter about attacking directly. Snowman Eater because it's a water, and really good defense, and it destroys a monster on the field, a face-up monster. And finally we have a Deep Sea Diva for synchro summoning if you ever want that to happen, but there's really no room for synchro summoning. For the spells, there's a Legendary Ocean for level control and gains 200 attack. All water monsters gain 200 attack and defense, but it helps out if you want that level control. There's the Fossil there's a Fossil Dig if you can search out the Hydreigeddons, or Dirac if you want. And Gold Sarcophagus to search out the Rescue Rabbit. Moray of Greed, since there's so many water monsters, you put 2 water monsters in your hand to the deck, shuffle it, and then draw 3 cards. Pot of Duality for consistency. Water Hazard with this card, if you have no monsters on your side of the field, and you can just special summon a level 4 or lower water monster from your hand. That's why it's a good card for the deck, but it only works with 9 monsters in the deck, so I'm not completely sure if this card's really that great for the deck. For traps, there's Fiendish Chain, because it's overall a good card for Rescue Rabbits to protect your monsters, because there's a lot of big monsters out there, and Fiendish Chain stops those big monsters. And finally, the spiritual water art Aoi, because a lot of your monsters are water. And I just feel like it's just an overall really good card because you can tribute a water monster and then your opponent shows their hand and you get to discard one of their cards. So I hope you guys enjoyed this deck, and there's gonna be a lot more what was it, creative decks, I suppose, later on. So if there are any suggestions you want for the deck, or any questions or comments or complaints, comment below, and I'll see you guys next time.